Hello, everyone. Ron here from RJJ's Reactions. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm going to do another request today. It is Human League Keep Feeling Fascination. I have heard the name Human League before from a long, long time ago, I believe. I have probably heard some of their songs, but the title of this one doesn't sound familiar to me. So I'll see once we start, I'll let you know whether or not I have heard it. If I have, it was from ages ago, so I probably won't remember it that well, and I won't probably have looked into the lyrics. I'm not sure. Who knows? We'll see, and we'll look at the lyrics after the song, as I usually do. Okay, let's get started with Human League. Keep feeling fascination. Okay, let's go. Very orange.
If it seems a little time is needed, decisions to be made.
The good advice of friends unneeded. The best of plans mislaid.
Just looking for a new direction.
In an old familiar way. Forming of
Okay, right off the top, I don't think I've heard this song before, but I'm pretty sure I've heard this band. The sound sounds a little bit familiar. Definitely 1980s vibe going on, new wave type of music and video. Lots of makeup. I almost said Maybelline, which is a brand, which I guess I shouldn't say, on everybody. Very 1980s feel to it. I did like some of the new wave music back in the 80s and early 90s. I remember some of the bands like Alphaville and Depeche Mode, and I'll think of a few others as we go along probably. But yeah, it's kind of a fun sound so far. I think this is just going to be a fun, sort of relaxing type song. Nothing too deep, but that's okay too. I'll go back a little bit. I like the bass in that man's voice. I don't know the names of the artists here.
the good advice of friends unneeded. The best of plans mislaid.
Just looking for a new direction.
In an old familiar way. Forming of a new connection.
To study or to play. And so the conversation turned until the sun went down. And many fantasies were learned on that day.
Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling fascination, looking, learning, moving on. Well, the truth may need some rearranging.
Stories to be told.
I'm playing to see the facts are changing.
No meaning left to hold. And so the conversation turned until the sun went down. And many fantasies were learned on that day.
Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling fascination, looking, learning, moving on.
And so the conversation turned until the sun went down. And many fantasies were learned on that day.
Deep feeling, fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling, fascination, looking, learning, moving on. Keep feeling, fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling, fascination, looking, learning, moving on. Keep feeling, fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling, fascination, looking, learning.
You are here. Okay. All right. That was fun. I'll have a quick look at the lyrics anyway, although the lyrics were popping up here anyway. But I'll have a little bit of a look at the lyrics afterwards and my final comments in just a moment. All right, let's have a look at the lyrics. It was a fun song. It brought back memories of the 1980s, maybe the early 1990s, but definitely the 80s with the new wave music and all the different um, styles that were being tried out, clothing, hairstyles, makeup, all of that kind of thing. And I'm not sure. I'm going to have a little bit of a look at the lyrics, although I don't think we go too deep here. But I'm kind of wondering if it wasn't talking about what they used to call gender bending and trying some different relationships at the time, let's say. And now, of course, it's talked about in very different ways and for good reason. But that's in the 80s. Artists did that before, of course. David Bowie did it. Even and others in the 70s, and even before that there were a couple of artists who sometimes did it, but that was arguable whether they were doing it deliberately or not. And many people would say no, they weren't doing that. So but definitely in the 80s there were some that were pushing that sort of gender boundary. And when you look at the sort of jewelry and the makeup going on there. And then that deep voice came out. It was a bit surprising, and it would have been much more surprising back in the day, which is probably partly why I like some of the new wave uh, bands and music as well, because I like whenever somebody pushes the boundaries a little bit, as long as they're doing so in a in a respectful way, let's say. If it seems a little time is needed, decisions to be made, the good advice of friends unheeded, for the best of plans mislaid, just looking for a new direction in an old familiar way. So that's what was kind of keying me in along with the looks, the forming of a new connection to study or to play. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I may be reading too much into this, but forming new connections, new direction, um, and so the conversation turned until the sun went down, and many fantasies were learned on that day. So again, experimentation, playing around, and I don't know. Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, love so strong. Keep feeling fascination, looking, learning, moving on. So once again, the lyrics. Maybe it's just because that thought popped into my head and now I can't get it out. So trying to make everything fit. That can happen sometimes. But I don't know. There's enough in here to think that they were at least suggestive of pushing the boundaries and maybe trying some different relationships rather than the conventional. While the truth may need some rearranging, stories to be told. So, maybe we need to tell a different story about what happened last night after we had a few drinks or whatever. I don't know. And plain to see the facts are changing, no meaning left to hold. hmm And so the conversation turned. And then I think we start having this basically the same lyrics repeated afterwards. All right. Again, I don't know if there's any really deep meaning in here, but um, it was more of a fun song. I think give you a little bit of a vibe, and the video sort of brought back memories if you were alive and listening to music back in the day. And I don't know what young people would think of that nowadays. Who knows? I should ask some of my students what they think. But yeah, I appreciate the suggestion. It was good. It was fun. It was. I haven't really listened to some of the new wave type music that I really liked back in the day for a while. So I should maybe have a listen and look at some of that and see if it still holds up for me now. I'm thinking this one might not have held the same interest for me as, say, a Depeche Mode, for example, or Gene Love Jezebel, or something like that. But nevertheless, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Okay, it is Ron from RJJ's Reactions. If you have any other suggestions or recommendations, let me know. Singers or bands, and new, old, somewhere in between, doesn't matter. And I'll have a look. In the meantime, keep listening and keep having fun. Bye bye for now.